Hey everyone, it is Quinn here today with another video in this bass chord voicing video series that I've been working on. So today we're going to take a look at some inversions and some shapes that we can use for that. So a lot of these will still start with the note E, but they'll be inversions of other chords. So getting it kicked off with our first chord here, we're going to try an A5 over E voicing. So this ends up looking like this. That can also work as like kind of a sus4 voicing, but right here we've got the notes E, A, and E. So this kind of works as like a power chord voicing. So instead of the E being the root, though, the A is the root. So we've got the fifth of the chord, we've got the root of the chord, and then we have another fifth right here. So pretty useful. You can kind of switch between that and a regular power chord shape to get some pretty cool sound. So. Could be pretty usable. Again, if you had a little more like distortion, you wanted a little more power out of your sound more than just root notes, could be a good option for you. So for the next one, we're going to try an A chord with the E in the bottom of it. So this would be a second inversion of an A chord. This has the fifth in the bass. This is going to be the notes E, A, and C sharp. Pretty nice sound, and we could even switch between some of the other ones that we've done. So maybe I do like an E, an A with the second inversion. So let's see what we can kind of come up with. Yeah, some different ideas for that one. Again, a pretty nice one, especially if you want to kind of drone that E on the bottom. This could be a nice voicing for that. So similarly, we had an A major chord with the fifth in the bottom. Now we're going to have an A minor chord with the fifth in the bottom. So this is going to be the notes E, A, and C. It's really nice and moody sounding. Pretty cool things we can do with that. Again, especially if you're arpeggiating it, maybe you want to keep that E ringing on the bottom. Could be a really cool voicing to play around with. All right, so for the next one, I really like using this one. Jimi Hendrix actually uses this all the time on the guitar, but this is going to be an E chord with the G sharp in the bottom. So we're going to change out of our kind of 7th position a little bit with this one. So we're going to go up to the 11th fret on the A string to get our G sharp, and we're going to play G sharp, B, and E together. Now, I actually really like this voicing because I can kind of switch between my E position here, and I can move up and grab that inversion. And you can get like all these cool little like R&B lines with it. And again, you don't always have to even play the entire chord all at one time. You could do these little moves where you like, hammer on into a note and kind of muffle it. So something like, you can create some really nice dynamics with it too. When you want to accent something, then you can play like those higher double stops together. So that voicing in particular is really easy to work some ideas in from. Again, especially if you want to check out some of Jimi Hendrix's like clean parts, you could get some ideas for what you could kind of copy and put on bass. So we just did the major chord in first inversion. So now we're going to do the minor version of that, also in first inversion. So now we're going to have a G on the bottom, and then we're going to add the notes B and E on top of that. So just like with the previous one we did, this one's really nice if you go between like an E kind of position. You can kind of slide up and grab this one pretty nicely. So Just some ideas for it too. Again, you can use it in a similar way where you muffle that bottom note a little bit and you get those double stops up the top to kind of pop out really nicely. All right, so that's been another video in this chord series for the bass. So thank you for watching. And again, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you get notified when the next one comes out. Thanks.